morning. It's 5:15. We are in Angleton, Texas. We are cooking at the Texas Angels CBA event, and feels like we haven't done this in a long time, if I'm being 100% honest. So my brisket's already got that base on it from last night. I'm gonna go over with some Southern Belle. I'm gonna go over top of Southern Belle with Southern Hospitality. And then we're gonna go over top of everything with 16 mesh black pepper. Now for our point, AKA our burnt ends, we're gonna go over top with Southern Belle. I did not put that base on this last night, so I don't want these to get too salty. That's always what I don't want to say worry about, but it's kind of in the back of my mind. I want to make sure that these are not too salty. So I'm gonna go over top with Southern Belle, then over that with Southern Hospitality. We'll flip and do the same exact thing to the other side. And once we're done doing that, we're just gonna let these sit out for a few minutes. Right now the drum is coming up to temp. I want it to get to around 250 to 275. It's not gonna get all the way to 300. I will throw it on a little bit early, but for now we're gonna throw some wood chunks in and then we'll put the brisket on. For the wood, I'm throwing in pecan and post oak. And then we'll go ahead and put our brisket right on. After 30 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and rotate our brisket, and I'm also gonna go ahead and flip the burnt ends. Now it's 6:04 a.m. I seasoned the pork last night with Southern Belle and that base. And the reason that I did that is because I've been kind of noticing that sometimes my pork gets a little too sweet. So I just wanted these salts to work on the pork. Hopefully I don't get too much of a hammy flavor on it, but I think we should be all good to go. Just gonna go ahead and hit the top of these. Now we're just gonna let this rub sit on top of the pork, kind of tack up, draw out some moisture, and then we're just gonna go ahead and put it right on the race crew. Now it's 6:40. We're gonna go ahead and start working on our ribs. So if you guys remember, again, last night we put that base on our ribs. So now we're gonna go over top with Southern Belle. And then I'm gonna go over top with black pepper. I typically do pack black pepper last, but I'm trying something different today. And then we'll go over top with Southern Hospitality. Now it's time to go over the top of the ribs with Southern Belle. Then black pepper. And then finish it off with Southern Hospitality. Right at 7 a.m., it's time to put our pork on. So we're only doing one full pork butt. We'll put 3 monies on at 7:30 on the opposite side of the pork. 7:30 on the dot. Gonna go ahead and put our money muscles on, and then we'll give this a spin. We're gonna spin this every 30 minutes. We will flip this over in a little bit, but we are gonna spin it just to make sure we get a nice even cook. Over here, there is no water pan, so it's gonna be a little bit hotter. I'm looking to get color. I'm looking to maybe get a little bit of char on the bottom of these, just render a lot of fat. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Also right at 7:30, we're gonna put our ribs on the smoker. I want to make sure to straighten everything up because they are going to cook exactly the way you put them in. And out of the three of them, this right here closest to me is my least favorite rack. Obviously, we have no idea how it's going to taste in the end, but just judged off the way that it looks and the way that it felt, I don't like this rack as much as I like these other two, but I'm obviously trying to cook all of them just as perfect as I can. It's exactly 7:56 a.m. and I really like the color of my brisket, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it now. I'm gonna throw our liquids in here and then we'll just put in a thermometer, cut a little slit, and this is gonna go right back on the drum. For everybody that's curious at the house, this is 161 degrees. I wrap to color, it doesn't matter what the temperature is, but I know some of you guys like to check. 8:51 a.m. We're about to wrap our ribs. We got some butter going down. We got Blues Hog Original, and we got Killer Hogs vinegar sauce. So one of the things that I personally noticed on the last couple of events that I did, and it's funny because I can go back and look at my own footage, I was actually doing my ribs differently every single time when I thought that I wasn't. So just kind of, I've talked about it before, if you have notes, make sure to take good notes, because what I was actually doing was I was putting butter, sugar in the raw, and all these sauces on the bottom. I went back and looked at a couple of the videos that I had in the past of whenever we GC'd, and then just some other footage, and I actually never used to do that. I used to only put sugar in the raw on top. So just keep that in mind. When you're doing these things, you want to try and replicate the same exact thing every time. So I'm going back to what I was doing. So now I've got my Blues Hog Original on top. I've got my Killer Hogs vinegar sauce on top. And then finally we're gonna go over the sugar in the raw. Now, I don't know for sure, but I was getting a little bit darker on the bottom of the ribs. And I'm thinking it's because I put that sugar on the bottom and I might have been burning it. Again, I couldn't tell you 100%, but I did notice that there was a little bit of a difference in the last rack of ribs that I made, and they didn't hit very well. So I'm gonna try and stay consistent. I got my rib wrap here that I split equally into 3 racks as best I can. All right, that looks about right. And then we'll take this rack straight to the smoker. It's exactly 9:02. We just put ribs back on the smoker and we are wrapping our money muscles. So what I'm noticing here is a few things. So you'll see that these money muscles look different in size. So what I'm trying to do is make sure I don't overcook any of these. So I'm gonna get my probe here in a second, and I'm actually going to probe the smallest one just to make sure that I don't overcook it. And then what we're gonna do is, if we need to, we'll pull it just to make sure that everything is cooked really, really nice and even. We want them both, we want them all to be around 205, 208. And then I need half of this in here. Go right into the small one. For everybody curious at home, we're looking around 165, 166. Like I said, that doesn't matter to me, but I know you guys sometimes are curious. Right back onto the drum smoker, and we're gonna grab our pork butt now. Right back onto the smoker. Almost forgot the Killer Hogs vinegar, but the wife saved me. All chicken wings today. It's all or nothing for us. We've tried everything. This is the last thing we haven't tried. So it's all or nothing. I would say last time we made wings, they were really good, and I wanted to surprise you guys with all chicken wings. So you can see in the camera, we did a light trim on them. We're injecting them right now, and we're gonna put them on at 10:30. We'll see how they turn out. So with chicken wings, for whatever reason, everybody has their way of doing stuff. I like to get right between the joint and stick my needle right there. 2 to 3 pumps, and then there's a little piece right here of muscle that I also like to get. But if you look right here, you can see that there's that tendon right there in between the 2 bones that kind of connects them. I like to stick my needle right down there, and I can feel it in my hand. I can actually feel the chicken wing plumping up right down the middle, which is really what I want. So we'll pop one of these bones out in a little bit, make it a little bit easier to bite, but one more time, right down the middle, slides right in. You can kind of see it, hopefully. 1, 2, yeah, you can see it how it's expanding, it's getting bigger. I still have to do one more in there, but that's one of the things that I for sure like to look for and feel. So a lot of people will actually they'll actually, whoa. A lot of people will actually trim these a little bit more, but because I like to see and feel that tendon right there that connects these two bones, I just rough on my trim for these. So we're seasoning up our chicken wings. You guys saw that we got some hash marks on these bad boys outside. My goal is to try and get a nice char flavor on there, and that's the reason why I didn't season first, is I want a good char flavor. I don't want a burnt flavor. So they already smell delicious without seasoning. Right now it is 10:51. We have just over an hour before we got to turn in these chicken wings, and I'm excited about trying an all wing box, because we feel like our chicken wings are pretty good. So we want to force, well, we feel like they're really good. So we want to force them, right? We want to force them to have to eat them. And they only got one option today. So that's realistically why we're doing this. We just want to see how things turn out. And also, if you guys are ever interested or you're curious if an all wing box works, we're about to show you today. This is going to go straight out to the drum. Top rack. We just turned in chicken. You guys saw that we did an all wing box. I thought that the flavor on them was absolutely insane. Now, I will say that I really do think that we could have gone a little bit longer with them. I'm not sure how the texture was. Well, we had some and the texture wasn't where I wanted it to. I pulled them and they still were only around 193, 194. So hopefully the judges liked it. I know the flavor was great today. So hopefully that carries us a long way. try our best, buddy. That is delicious. That's a first place rib right there, watch. Gotta take one out. We just turned in pork ribs and the color on them looked absolutely incredible today. We were trying to fit 10 in the box, but you guys probably saw a second ago that this little guy kept falling off the edge. So unfortunately, we only had to go 9 deep, or we only could go 9 deep today. But the color looked unreal on these bad boys. I'm going to take a quick bite, just kind of see how they taste. And of course, I'm going to give myself a grade on these. Oh man, just perfect. The flavor's there, the bite is there. That's going to be perfect for fork and knife. It's still not quite falling all the way off the bone, but it's just cooked really, really good. If I had to say something about those ribs, I would say they taste really damn good. Hopefully the judges feel the same exact way, and we're getting a good walk today. Oh yeah. Wow. Try that. Wowzers!